Goodbye YouTube, hopefully y'all are having a good day today. Now today's battle is going to be against DrStunJosh. Not too sure if he uploads or not still, but his channel link is down in the description, so I'll make sure to go check him out, and let's get right into the team preview. Now right off the bat, the first thing that I noticed was the fact that he had Hanscrow, and I know how much of a threat Hanscrow used to be in the RU tier. I have yet to face it in UU, but I know I cannot allow him to set up. Next off is going to be Chandelure, but barring the Chandelure is not scarfed, I should be able to deal with it perfectly well enough. Then he has the two Rapid Spinners, which are Blastoise and Claydol, which I found to be a bit odd, but that means I'll more than likely not be able to get up my Stealth Rocks, which is gonna really suck. Then he has the Shaman, which I have Scarfed Darmanitan for. Then he has Azelf, which is more than likely Choice Banded, but if he is Choice Banded, then I have Darmanitan for it because I'll easily be able to outspeed him. So yeah guys, let's see how this battle went, and let's get right into it. So I'm going to be leading off with my Bronzong, as my opponent will be leading off with his Azelf. Now, because he led off with Azelf, I'm thinking that maybe he wants to go straight for the Stealth Rock, so I am actually going to stay in and go for the Gyro Ball. Now, I could have gone for the Trick if he was Focus Sash, but if I had gone for the Trick and given the Azelf the Scarf, then he would be able to outspeed my Darmanitan, which really could have hurt me in the long run of the battle, so I decided to go for the Gyro Ball just to break the possible Focus Sash. As you saw there, I am able to take the Fire Punch because it's not stabbed, and Bronzong do have very great defenses, so I'm going to take this chance to switch out to my Suicune, thinking that maybe I can trick off the Scarf to maybe his Claydol or his Blastoise later on in the battle, and he actually makes the very good prediction and goes for the Thunder Punch, predicting me to switch out into my Suicune to take the Fire Punch. Now, this turn I'm going to go for the Skull. Now, judging for how much damage the Thunder Punch is doing, if I'm able to burn him, as you see here, I will be able to take another Thunder Punch the following turn and be able to rest up and not worry about my Suicune being in possible KO range of the Hanscrow, so he doesn't get his Moxie boost, as I am able to live, and I'm going to go for the rest, which is just great. But now I know, because I did rest up, he's going to bring in his Shaman the following turn, but that's really not a big issue, seeing as I do have my Togekiss, as I'm able to get rid of the Azelf. Now, because he didn't go for the rocks, I'm thinking that maybe the Claydol has Stealth Rock, so I have to watch out for that later on in the battle, as I'm going to take this opportunity and switch out into my Togekiss, which is the special wall of my team. He goes for the Sea Flare, which did a lot more damage than I thought it would, and there you see why, because he ends up being a Life Orb variant. But now that I did see the Life Orb, I know he's going to be carrying the rest for recovery, so I have to watch out for that later on in the battle, as he's going to go for the Hidden Power Ice, knowing that I'm in my knowing that I am at -2 special defense, and that does a great deal of damage. But next turn I'm going to go and switch out into my Bronzong, thinking that he would just go for another Hidden Power Ice, but on hindsight, what I should have done was gone for the Roost just so I could get some recovery back, as he actually ends up switching out into his Claydol. Now here's a perfect opportunity for me to trick off my Scarf, as he actually reveals to carry the Cosmic Power on his Claydol, which I found to be a bit odd. So I guess his Azelf was his Stealth Rocker, but maybe the fact that I did have my Hitmontop, that's why he didn't go for the rocks, which I don't know why he didn't go for them, but whatever. As this turn I'm going to go for the Toxic, thinking that he would just leave in his Claydol just for Death Fodder, seeing as it is locked into the Cosmic Power, but no, he actually makes the switch out into his Chandelure, which is fine by me, as I'm going to go out into my Hitmontop. And this is actually a max special defense and max HP Hitmontop, just something I was trying out. And I do carry the Sucker Punch, so I'm going to be able to go for that and get off a very good chunk of damage off on this Chandelure. And because he is actually leftovers and not Scarfed, I can easily go out into my Lilligant and go straight for the Hidden Power Rock, which is going to be a surefire one-hit KO on the Chandelure, seeing as it was at that low amount of HP. I am Life Orbed, and that was super effective, as he brings in the Claydol. Now here, I know you're wondering, why did you switch out to Togekiss? Well, the reason why I went out to Togekiss was on the off chance that he might actually go for the Toxic, so I could roost up the following turn, then just go for the Heal Bell, seeing as I do carry Heal Bell on my Togekiss. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, as he's able to knock me down to a point where I know another Ice Beam will take me out. So I'm going to be forced to switch out into my Bronzong. Now I also could have gone out into my Suicune, but as you see there, he does still have the Shaman. So going out to my Bronzong was the best Pokemon I could have gone out in that situation, as I'm able to Toxic it, and in the following turn, knowing that I can take a Seed Flare, I'm going to stay in and go for a Gyro Ball. Unfortunately, he does end up missing, but because I do resist it, that wouldn't have been able to take me out anyways, and I still would have been able to get the Gyro Ball damage off on it, as the following turn is going to go for the rest, and that was very obvious, so I decided to just go for a Gyro Ball. As this turn I go for Toxic, thinking that, hey, you want to switch out, right? No, that's not the case, as I'm going to go for the Gyro Ball the second turn, which I should have gone for Toxic again because the switch was very obvious, but oh well, hindsight is 2020. As the following turn, because Blastoise can really only go for Scald and burn me, I'm just going to go for a toxic. And even if he had burnt me, I do still have my Togekiss, which does carry the heal bell as I mentioned earlier, so the burn really wouldn't have bothered me, as I'm going to switch out to my Lilligant, knowing that he's basically just fishing for a burn on my Bronzong just to get that residual damage. Unfortunately, he does burn me this turn, but I guess that makes up for the fact that he did miss a C-Flare earlier, because now my survivability and my Lilligant is going to be limited, as I'm going to go for the Quiver Dance, which also could have been a bit risky considering he could have roared me out. But then again, why would you leave Blastoise in on a Lilligant? As I go for the +1 stab Life Orb boosted Petal Dance on the Shaman. Unfortunately, because Shaman do have Natural Bulk and I believe Grass resists Grass, that just barely fails to take him out, but it is a double down thanks to Life Orb, which is just great, because now I don't have to worry about his Honchkrow coming in and getting a +1 with the Moxie boost. So I'm just going to rapidly speed this part up because it's just me trying to burn sleep turns. As I go for the Sleep Talk, I pulled the Scald the first turn, get the rest the following turn, and then the following turn after that I'm going to go for the Scald. Unfortunately, just barely missed out on the KO, but this is actually good for me because now I can get a free switch out into my Togekiss, which at this point, because Shaman is gone, it's just Death Fodder. And now I can go out into Darmanitan, go for the U-turn, and switch back out into my Bronzong, which Bronzong basically deals with his Honchkrow and deals with his Blastoise very well. So here, I knew the substitute was very obvious, and I was actually very, very close to going for the Toxic. Luckily, that's not the case. And I do go for the Gyro Ball, which easily breaks the substitute of the Honchkrow. Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. Throughout this whole battle, I thought that Honchkrow was faster than my Suicune, and that ends up playing a bit of a role later on in the battle. So I quickly stopped the narration so I could speed up this part, because Blastoise can't do anything to me and I can't do anything to Blastoise. I'm just going to go for my Stealth Rocks, and in the following turn I'm going to switch out to my Suicune just so I could Toxic Stall this damn Blastoise, because if I can get rid of Blastoise, then I'm pretty sure my Suicune can take on this Honchkrow accordingly. Yeah, there's really nothing going on here, guys. I apologize for this. As there, he does go for the Rapid Spin, which was a bit frustrating because I wanted to get off that extra rocks damage on the Honchkrow. As the following turn is going to go for the Scald, get a crit, and then above that actually burn me. Which, at this point, I was very, very scared because, as I said, I thought that this Honchkrow would be faster than me, but he actually does not turn out to be faster than me, because if he was, he should have gone for the Brave Bird and not gone for the Sucker Punch. Now here is where my suspicions are confirmed. I am actually faster than him because, as you saw there, I do get the Sleep Talk first. As the following turn he goes for the Substitute and is going to go for the Roost. So I know if I'm able to hit him with the Scald, as I do here, I might be able to get the burn and ensure my victory of this battle. As it goes for the Substitute, the following turn go for the Sucker Punch, just go for Scald. Yeah, it's just basically rinse and repeat at this point. Sucker Punch, Scald, Sucker Punch, Scald, and I'm actually able to take him out with the final Scald for the very narrow, I believe, 2-0 victory in my favor. So I know the ending was a bit dull, but honestly the battle was a lot of fun, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the narration, hope you enjoyed the battle. Make sure to check out my opponent, leave a like, leave a comment, and with that, I do believe I'm out of here, guys. Haha, later.